All right, so YCS Birmingham just concluded, and me and my two little sidekicks, because there's one more, are here to give you a report. And I think we have a lot of things to talk about. There's many takeaways from this event, but the main one is that I genuinely believe Dinh-Kha is the best player, like, ever. Literally, like, at least of this generation. Like, he is amazing. And he managed to win with Fire Kings of all decks in this format. That's like just completely overflown with Malice, Raizu, Fiendsmith Raizu, Mitsu Raizu, Bestios, Dark decks, like everything but fire. And it is one of the most impressive feats, but he did also win with Prank Kids a couple years back, so it just goes to show that his skill is immense, his deck building is on point, and I could not be happier for him, and I think the entire community is. If you've been tuning into the stream at all, especially these last rounds with Dinh-Kha being featured, everyone was cheering, everyone was clapping, the energy was literally through the roof, and I'm just super excited to talk about this event. Obviously, my setup, as you can see, is different than in my other videos. That's because I'm actually here in Birmingham as we speak. And I was there, I was at the event, so I'll share my thoughts from personally playing and experiencing this format. And we're also gonna take a look at some stats, obviously. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy. And yeah, if you like me doing these types of reports, you know, just let me know. It makes me really happy to do them and to let you know what happened and to give you a little report on the format and the event and all of that. So I appreciate any feedback you might have in the comments, but do make sure to like the video and also sub if you're not subbed yet. So with that, let's jump into it. Why did Fire King win? Why was it such a great choice? And the answer is because this format Alright, I'm back. So why was this deck such a great choice? The answer is because this format right now is... Okay, let's talk about it and you'll also see the representation and it's just gonna make sense. There was a lot of malice, and I also chose to play it. I think this format in particular, it just matters what you draw. And this may sound weird and you're gonna be like, well, what are you talking about? So essentially, for example, for me, I went 6-3 and all of my 3 losses, I genuinely believe from just reflecting back on my games, were uncontrollable. I got Lancet, I got double Lancet, and I did not open engine a lot of times, and that is a big issue of this deck. But just overall, I was looking like at people, like listening to their conversations, like overhearing, not eavesdropping, overhearing people talking about how, you know, I lost to Crossout, I lost to them having, I don't know, Ash on my Metal Tronos when it really mattered. Like, it's just a lot of hand comparisons because non-engine is so optimized right now. Raizu has their stuff figured out, Malice has their stuff figured out, and they are good choices. But the thing is that right now, in a format that seems as set in stone and as developed, decks like Fire Kings, Mermeos, which made it to top 4, Pure Raizu, decks that don't lose to the already established non-engine are the way to go. That is my main point. So with that, let's talk about decks in particular, like specifically. Let's go to Malice. Biggest representation they won, and a lot of them made it to top 64, like 16 or something. And there's 60 Malice, 15 Raizu, so there's not a lot of difference in the amount of people that made it. Both decks are obviously the top 2 decks, they are that established. But I genuinely believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, the Malice players that made it, they paired their skill with a lot of luck in the variant side of things. So maybe they didn't get Lancet when it really mattered. They didn't get ashed under Metal Tronos when it really mattered, because Metal Tronos, by the way, is like the MVP card of the format. It is incredible, it is so good, and the Malice deck is a good choice in theory because it is geared to beat Fiendsmith Raizu and any Fiendsmith deck, pretty much, because you have so many Bestios. The build that I played, like, just huge shout out to Inner Circle, Pak, Jib, all of them, Nash. Like, I took the build that Pak and Jib created, pretty much, probably other people as well, because in theory it was a great build, and it was a great build, but a lot of times Malice has issues with bricking, and obviously Lancia as well. But yeah, this deck was geared to beat the top deck, which is Fiendsmith Raizu. At least it was expected to be, and as you can see by the representation, that ended up being the case. Maybe I'll just put them here so they can be part of the video. Also, they're so, like, they kind of look mean. I don't know why. All right, so let's put them here. So this deck was geared to beat the top deck. There's also Fiendsmith Raizu, which, gosh, I don't. It is a super consistent deck. That's definitely something that has going for, which Malice doesn't really. Raizu is super consistent. It is just a very, very, very good deck because it can play a lot of non-engine, and because in simplified game states, a detonator is just game, pretty much. It's incredible. The deck is super strong. However, when you're facing a lot of mirror matches, again, we get to the hand comparison part of things, which is just unfortunate. There's also Mitsu Raizu, which I faced 2, I believe, in Swiss. The deck is super good at going first, at making boards, also at breaking boards, I guess I would say. I faced Jordan Gallagher, great player, incredible player. We had a really good match. I got Lancia'd, but we had a really good match, and he was like, after he Lancia'd me, we were kind of going back and forth during his turn. He was breaking through my field with just a lot of engine because the deck is super strong, but it's a little inconsistent. That's the issue this deck has. A lot of times players will stray away from it because you're a little too reliant on just the way you draw, and sometimes you actually want your opponent to interact so you can go like Talon's draw because you don't really have a lot of plays. So that's the Mitsu Raizu deck. What else is there? There's White Forest as a Mina. I think it was a good choice as well because like it's a decent combo deck actually, and a lot of players don't know how to really interact with it optimally. So this deck made it to top 8, I believe, so it made it quite far. And then now we can get to the Mermail and Fire King deck. Dinh-Kha is just, he's incredible. He's so smart. I can't even. All right, so Fire King. I am not certain of everything that he played, but from what I've heard, it's pretty much just geared to go second into those decks, just to deal with Malice and Raizu decks. And if you've seen his report on Twitter, he mainly faced just Malice, one Fiendsmith Raizu, and Mitsu Raizu in day 1. I don't know for day 2, but those were his matchups, and the deck was geared to beat them. I believe he played 3 Skyburn in the main deck, and it's a fire deck. It does not lose to Bestios. And then you have the Malice deck, which plays like 10 Bestios. I played 9. Because I cut 1 Shadow Needle for 1 field spell because you brick, and I still bricked, but I am not salty, I swear. No, but all jokes aside, with all the Bestios in the format, a fire deck is gonna function super well. And there's also Atlantean Mermail, which is another great deck because, number 1, combo deck. It can play through a lot of hand traps actually. You have Minstrel to literally get rid of hand traps. You have Mulinglesia to handle up your opponent. There's a lot of things you can do going first, but going second, the deck is also super decent, like super good actually, because you have a lot of different pushes and ways to play, because everything you do is for cost. So however they disrupt you, you still have those cost effects going off. So every single time your opponent is gonna need 2 things at least to deal with your plays, pretty much. It's just nice to see. That's all I have to say. Like literally, we're in a format where it is not that diverse. We have established like top 3 to 4 decks, but there are other ones that are good meta calls, and that's super important right now. Also, side note, hopefully this video is not all over the place. I'm just trying to like pretty much every single thought I have, I'm trying to let you know my thoughts and feelings and all of that. But yeah, that's what I kind of gathered from this event. Also, as you can see, Konami posted a lot of stats, which I'm super excited about because I love stats. They posted how many how many decks played specific cards, specific main deck, extra deck, side deck cards. As you can see, Lancia is super represented. It's everywhere. You need it. As well as extra deck monsters, Ash Blossom in every single main deck pretty much, because like it's great, you know, it's Ash Blossom, it's generic, and you need it to be Charmies. I was literally playing Ash as well as Droll, going first to Droll myself if I get Charmied. There's a whole game plan, I swear, but sometimes you get Lancia and you don't have cross out, or you draw your cross out target, because that also happened. you know how it is. So yes, those were the top played cards. And just overall, this event, like, it had random decks on stream, like Tearlaments, and people were playing everything. Another deck I want to talk about before we round this video off is Pure Raizio. Another great choice because of Bistios. They don't hurt you in the slightest. So what you can Bistio would be Eclipse Twins, sure. You can Bistio if node targets a light, which I don't want to be rude, but you're only gonna do that if you're bad. Like, the good players are just gonna target sword. So for the most part, you're fine. Like, you can Bistio a Detonator when Eclipse Twins is trying to bring it back. That's super good. That punishes the Raizio deck quite a lot. But yeah, I think it's a good choice. If you're doing the build that's like main deck Strike and stuff like that, and then you side deck extra Solemns, I think that's really, really decent. So yes, those would be the main takeaways. Pretty much, this format is there's a lot of dependency on variance, which I dislike. However, you can make a good meta call, which if you're smart, like Dinh-Kha is, you're gonna do. And yeah, overall, my thoughts on the format and all of that, if you're interested, is that I think the format is good. Like, yeah, there's variance, I know. However, if we're in a format with a couple decks only, you know what to prepare against. You can make a good meta call, because in a diverse format that is super tough to do, pretty much impossible. And also, the Raizio board, it is outable, especially if you gear your deck to beat it. I faced, like, in the first 5 rounds, I faced mainly Fiend's mid decks, and I think I lost every single die roll. I won 2 altogether in day 1. And then ended up going 6-3, and I could not make day 2. I was like 270 something, so I barely, was not able to sneak in. But I believe only 1x3 made top cut anyway, so it was pretty much impossible. However, yes, I lost most of the die rolls, went second with Metal Tronos and Bistios and all of that. The other hand traps, because I played a lot of them, played a lot of non-engine, and it was great. I won most of my game once, if I remember correctly. So there's that. This video has been going on long enough. If you're still here watching, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, say bye to the rescue hamster, the rescue rabbit. He's kind of falling apart, but he's adorable. He's part of my family now. Thank you so much for everything, guys. Like, I also want to say this. This event was, for me personally, amazing. Everyone that came up to me was so nice, and also just people here overall are so polite. It took me off guard. They were super nice. I also met a couple girls playing, and it's really cool. It's nice to see, and it's nice to feel good in a community and at an event, and I appreciate that so much. And everyone that came up to me was so nice and so polite, and I took pictures and signed a couple of things, and everyone was just so great, and it really means a lot. I'm super grateful to be able to do this, and I appreciate you guys for watching me and supporting me and all of that. It means a lot. And yeah, I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I don't want this video to end on like a sad note, I guess, but I'm just super appreciative of you guys, and I always have a great time when I play an event. It's nice. I love YCSs. So I hope we get more in Europe, please. Please give us more. And with that, I will end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like it if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.